Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Ram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatyam Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conflict, we first offer respectful obeisances to the personality of Godhead, Lord Narayana. Vantanayarani Narayana Shiva Sukamochi Mugni Bhagavad Saraswati Bhagavad Savarani and Shila Vyasa Devi offer Nastaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamastoke Bhakti Bhadati Naishti. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavad, and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established within their irrevocable fact. Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. And let's see, it's Canto 2, Chapter 2. Should be text number 20. I mean text 30 today. Yeah. Yeah, 30. Okay. It's a long purport, so it's a good thing to skip some things there. So I'll just read the Sanskrit a few times and then give me the word for word. Saputasuksmendriya sanikosham manomayam eva mayam vikoryam samsrajagatya satena yati vijnatatum gunasani rodam Saputasuksmendriya sanikosham manomayam deva mayam vikoryam samsajagatya satena yati vijnana tattvam gunasani rodam Saputasuksmendriya sanikosham manomayam deva mayam vikoryam samsajagatya satena yati vijnanatatvam gunasani rodam. Okay, word for word. Saha, he the devotee. Bhuta, the gross. Sukshma, and the subtle. Indriya, senses. Sanikosham, point of neutralization. Manamayam, the mental plane. Devamayam, and the mode of goodness. Vikaryam, egoism. Samsaja, surpassing. Gatya, by the process. Saha, along with. Tena, them. Yati, goes. Vijnana, perfect knowledge. Tattvam, truth. Guna, the material mode. Sanirodham, completely suspended. Translation, please repeat. The devotee
the devotee,
thus surpassing
thus by adding
the gross
the gross
and the subtle form
and the subtle form
of coverings,
coverings,
enters the plane of egoism,
and the plane of egoism,
and in that status
and in that status,
he merges the material modes of nature,
merges the material modes of nature,
ignorance and passion,
ignorance and passion,
and this point of neutralization,
this point of neutralization,
and thus reaches
thus reaches
egoism
egoism
and goodness.
and goodness.
After this,
After this,
all egoism
all egoism
is merged
is merged
in the Mahatattva,
in Mahatattva,
and he comes to the point
comes to the point
of pure self-realization.
of pure self-realization.
Purport's a little bit long, but it's filled with a lot of nectar. So if you can focus on it and pay attention, you can get a lot out of Srila Prabhupada's purport here. Pure self-realization, as we have several times discussed, is the pure consciousness of admitting oneself to be the eternal servitor of the Lord. Thus, one is reinstated in his original position of transcendental loving service to the Lord. His will be clearly explained in the following verse. This stage of rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord without any hope of emolument. Anyone want to?
Emolument.
Yeah, do you have an idea what that means?
Yeah, that means getting a return on it.
Yeah, payment,
Payment.
a wage. So this stage of rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord without any hopes of emolument from the Lord or any other way can be attained when the material senses are purified and the original pure state of the senses is revived. It is suggested herein that the process of purifying the senses is by the yogic way. Namely, the gross senses are merged in the mode of ignorance and the subtle senses are merged in the mode of passion. The mind belongs to the mode of goodness and therefore is called Deva Maya or godly. Perfect purification of the mind is made possible when one is fixed in the conviction of being the eternal servitor of the Lord. Therefore, simple attainment of goodness is also a material mode. One has to surpass this stage of material goodness and reach the point of pure goodness, or Suddha-sattva. This Suddha-sattva helps one to enter the kingdom of God. We may also remember in this connection that the process of gradual emancipation by the devotee, by the devotees, in the manner mentioned above, although authoritative, is not viable in the present age because of people's being primarily unaware of yoga practice. The so-called yoga practice in the professional protagonist may be psychologically beneficial, but 6 small successes cannot help one in the attainment of spiritual emancipation is mentioned here. 5,000 years ago, when the social status of human society was in perfect Vedic order, the yogi or the yoga process mentioned herein was a common affair for everyone, because everyone, and especially the Brahmanas and Kshatriya, was trained in the transcendental art under the care of the spiritual master far away from home in the status of brahmacharya. Modern man, however, is incompetent to understand it perfectly. Lord Sri Chaitanya, therefore, made it easier for the prospective devotee of the present age in following pacific manner. Ultimately, there's no difference in the result. The first and foremost point is one must understand the prime importance. Someone will try to guess what that is. One must first of all understand the prime importance.
Self-realization.
No, not exactly. It's how you attain self-realization.
Bhakti yoga.
Yes, you got it. Exactly. Prime importance of Bhakti Yoga. The living beings in different species of life, undergoing different terms of engagement according to their fruitive actions and reactions, but in the execution of different activities. One who secures some resources in Bhakti Yoga can understand the importance of service to the Lord through the causeless mercy of the Lord, as well as that of the spiritual master. A sincere soul is helped by the Lord through meeting a bona fide spiritual master, the representative of the Lord. By the instruction of such a spiritual master, one gets the seed of Bhakti Yoga. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends that the devotee sow the seed of Bhakti Yoga in the heart and nourish it by the watering of hearing and chanting the holy name, fame, etc. of the Lord. The simple process of offenselessly chanting and hearing the name of the Lord will gradually promote one very soon to the stage of emancipation. There are 3 stages in chanting the holy name of the Lord. The first stage is the offensive stage, offensive chanting of the holy name. And the second is the reflective stage of chanting the holy name. The third stage is the offenseless chanting of the holy name of the Lord. In the second stage only, the stage of reflection, between the offensive and offenseless stages, one automatically attains the stage of emancipation. And in the offenseless stage, one actually enters into the kingdom of God, although physically he may be apparently within the material world. To attain the offenseless stage, one must be on guard in the following manner. This may be a little bit tough for people to guess, so we won't ask anyone to do that. When we speak of hearing and chanting, it means that not only should one chant and hear of the holy name of the Lord as Rama, Krishna, or systematically the 16 names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But one should also read and hear the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. The primary practice of Bhakti Yoga will cause the seed already sowed in heart to sprout. Gee, we must not take it very seriously. There's not a lot of people hearing and chanting in the association of the devotees.
We are here.
No, I mean, there's so many others who want. I mean, some of them have something important to do, others, maybe not doing something so important. The primary practice of Bhakti Yoga will cause the seed already sowed in heart to sprout. And by a regular watering process, as mentioned above, the Bhakti Yoga Kripa will begin to grow. By systematic nourishing, the Kripa will grow to such an extent that it will penetrate the coverings of the universe, as we have heard in the previous verses. reach the effulgent sky, the Brahmajyoti, and go further and further and reach the spiritual sky, where there are innumerable spiritual planets called Vaikuntha Lokas. Above all of them is Krishna Loka, or the Loka Vrindavan, wherein the growing creeper enters and takes repose, last page, at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna,
Jai.
the original personality of Godhead. When one reaches the lotus feet of Lord Krishna at Goloka Vrindavan, the watering process of hearing and chanting is also chanting of the holy name, and the pure devotional stage fructifies. And the fruit grown there in the form of love of God, fruits, that is, plural, grown there in the form of love of God, but tangibly tasted by the devotee. Even though he is here in this material world. The ripe fruits of love of God are relished only by the devotees constantly engaged in the watering process as described above. But the working devotee must always be mindful so that the creeper which has grown will not be cut off by Charupa with his weed eater. No, it doesn't say that there. Therefore, he should be mindful of the following considerations. He's got 8 of them listed here. Number 1, offense by one at the feet of a pure devotee may be likened, and of course I'm not going to ask that because too many of you except for John could guess it. So maybe we'll ask John to guess it. John, what is offense by one at the feet of a pure devotee may be likened to what? What may it be? What may an offense at the lotus feet of a devotee be likened to? Can you think of anything?
In what context? I'm a little lost there.
Well,
the flow of it.
if we make an offense to a devotee, what would it be? What would it be like?
It would be like offending Krishna.
Like a what?
You'd be offending Krishna.
It'd be like offending Krishna.
You'd be offending one of Krishna's devotees.
Yeah. So then, what is that like in the material world?
Pain and suffering.
Yeah, you can say that. But the answer is a mad elephant who devastates a very good garden if it enters. Number 2, one must be very careful to guard himself against such offenses at the feet of pure devotees, just as one protects a creeper by all-around fencing. Number 3, it so happens that by the watering process, some weeds are also grown. And unless such weeds are uprooted, the nourishing of the main creeper or the creeper of Bhakti Yoga may be hampered. I've been wondering what happened to those weeds. Number 4, actually these weeds are material enjoyment. Comma. Merging of the self in the absolute without separate individuality. Comma. And many other desires in the field of religion, economic development, sense enjoyment, and emancipation. Number 5, there are many other weeds, like disobedience to the tenets of the reverent scriptures, unnecessary engagements. No, we got a lot of those. Killing animals, hankering after material gain, prestige, and adoration. Well, I guess most of us have a long way to go here, but we got a lot of weeds to pull. Just like out in that garden, John, you just can't seem to get it. Maybe they'll get us a weed eater like the one you brought Jess. A weed eater to cut those weeds down, you know. This Christian is like a weed eater, you know. His Sudashan chakra can help us out, you know. Number 6, if sufficient care is not taken, then the watering process may only help to breed the weeds, stunning the healthy growth of the main creeper, and resulting in no fructification of the ultimate requirement, love of God. I've been wondering what had happened, even though I've heard this before. You know, sometimes you forget when you get real covered over by those weeds. So there it is right there. Sufficient care is not taken in the watering process and will only help to breed the weeds, stunning the healthy growth of the main creeper and resulting in no fructification of the ultimate requirement, love of God. Number 7, the devotee must therefore be very careful to uproot the different weeds in the very beginning. And I reckon that's what happened to me. I didn't do it in the beginning, John. Only then will the healthy growth of the main creeper not be stunted. I'm like a stunted devotee. Number 8, and by so doing, the devotee is able to relish the fruit of love of God and thus live practically with Lord Krishna, even in this life, and be able to see the Lord in every step. The highest perfection of life. That's the end of number 8, and this is actually the last paragraph. It's only a sentence long. Oh, it might be, yeah, it is. It looks like it's indentured to, there's another paragraph. The highest perfection of life is to enjoy life constantly in the association of the Lord. And one who can relish this does not aspire after any temporary enjoyment of the material world. Via media. Even the internet. I guess you can love Krishna there too. But you can also love Maya there, that's for sure. So, I've been enjoying, even though I'm stunted, I can still enjoy a little bit of love of God, you know. I mean, the weeds kind of blocking everything out, but you know, you get a glimpse of Krishna or the sun through them, you know. So, I've been enjoying Shama Sundra's second volume much better than the first. I guarantee it. If you a little bit enjoyed the first, and some people didn't, especially the first chapter, a lot of people didn't, like say 50% of readers, you know, they didn't like it, it turned them off a little bit, and they didn't even complete the book. But, you know, if you really got into the book, it really got going. Really appreciated his service in Britain, meeting Mr. Harrison, and, you know, it really got going. But the second volume, I mean, it's a really gem. Even Charupa liked it. We've been reading it. Somehow he's health has revived enough that he's been acting as my chauffeur a little bit again. So on the long drive to New Orleans, we read, I read the whole way, even though I was tired and thought I was going to take rest. It was so good, couldn't stop, you know. Highly recommend it. It's really enjoyable in Krishna consciousness. It begins with India. So especially if you haven't been to India like you, John, you really get a glimpse, and you get a glimpse way back in 1970, only 28 years after India's independence. You know, so things were pretty rudimentary. And, you know, Shama Sundar, he's actually expert his memory must have been very good because he's expert at describing these things and details that make it, bring you really into the picture of being there. So, we've been enjoying that. They landed in Bombay, so instead of getting a glimpse of Mayapur, because Jayapataka Maharaj and Achyutananda, and I think one other guru, had already been there for maybe 2 or 3 years, since like 1968. But they landed in Bombay, and those Maharajas hadn't been there. They'd been trying to deal with Calcutta and a little bit of Mayapur at that time. And even though that was Prabhupada's hometown, they were having a rough time. And Prabhupada was encouraging him to find something really nice. This is his hometown. And and Lord Chaitanya's appeared in Bengal. But things took off in Bombay. And Prabhupada, he brings the whole crew together. Everybody's in India because he kicked Guru Das and Yamuna and a couple other devotees out of the train in Delhi and forced them to start opening things in Delhi. So they had devotees in Delhi, devotees in Bombay, and devotees in Kolkata. And Prabhupada brings them all together at the Kumbh Mela and starts to reorganize his Indian mission. And the devotees are doing great. Before then, he didn't devise the life membership program until he reached Bombay. That's where he started it, planned it. And he wanted that done because the chanting on the streets, although, Prabhupada had brought the Harinam party that was very dynamic, including devotees like Hamsa Dugar, and I can't remember the name of that African-American devotee from New York, who were, expert drummers and singers, and we had, 30 devotees. But Prabhupada didn't want us just chanting on the street because there are many, many Indians who chant and bag on the street. And he didn't want to become synonymous with them. So he devised the life membership program to engage all wealthy people in the Hare Krishna movement. And the devotees took it up dynamically, devotees like Giriraj, Tamal Krishna, and Shyama-Sundara. And there were very much competition to make life members. So you get some of those stories too. It's really nice. Including Rishi Kumar, who was another drummer and was the partner of. He was a partner with somebody else. And I think Kamal Krishna and Shyama-Sundara were partners. Or may have been the other way around. Maybe Rishi Kumar was with Shyama-Sundara. You get some interesting stories there. And but when they go to Surat, they've been invited to Surat. Surat is in Gujarat, where Basu Ghosh's temple president in Baroda there. But it's on the sea. And it used to be the biggest port in India way back during the Mughal Empire and before. That was like the big port. But due to the silt of the river, the harbor became clogged, and what the British did was build Bombay for the harbor. And Surat became less important shipping-wise, but developed the textile industry. But city at that time, 1970, about 500,000 people, and but wealthy. So when the devotees go to Surat, even more than Bombay, they can't do what they do in Bombay and Surat. Bombay is the financial capital of India. Shyama-Sundara is comparing it to a combination of New York and Los Angeles. And he's like really enjoying it because there are things there that you can equate to where you come from, like English. and some of the architecture, name of the streets, and various other things that he points out. When he goes to Kumbh Mela, everything changes because nothing equates. So anyhow, before then they go to Surat. And then, and although Surat can't compare to Bombay, when they land in Surat, somehow or other the people in this, this mini metropolis, it's 500,000 people, but this is 1970, it's not now. I mean, I'm sure there's at least 1 million people now, not including the suburbs. So, I mean, that's 3 times the size of New Orleans. So, the people, I mean, from the time they step off the plane, are so inviting and so kind to the devotees that right when they step off the planes, they, all these people are there, and they're garlanding them, and they're welcoming them. And when they go to meet Prabhupada, it's the same thing at the member's house that they're staying. Some man named Jariwala. And Jariwala is something they do a lot of there, because Jari means gold, gold thread, and Wala means a merchant of gold thread, like saris, like you have a sari with Jari on it, means gold embroidery work. So he's staying at this gentleman's house, and immediately there's this big welcoming. Prabhupada speaks, and the next day he sends the devotees on Harinam, and the devotees are completely astounded. People are throwing flowers. They're on the rooftops. The mayor has given it's a municipal holiday. He creates a municipal holiday, and all the people come on the streets to see them. And they drag them into their houses, they give them lassi, stuff them with sweets, and they run back out the door to join the party. And, it becomes, something they just never have experienced, that type of appreciation. Nobody appreciated it like that in America, not even in Bombay. What to speak about on the way to India, when you also get the story from Shamasundar's perspective. Guru Das tells it in his book, we get it from Shamasundar's perspective, of stopping in Egypt after Nasser has been assassinated. And they start chanting Harinam, in a Muslim-dominated country. So they've never experienced anything like this. And day after day, Prabhupada's sending them to different big parts of the city to do this. And it's the same thing every place. And at night, the city had blocked off the 2 main roads. In this big city, it'd be something like, I don't know what to compare it to. You could compare it in Mary to like Veterans Highway and Williams Boulevard or something, They had blocked off the 2 main roads. Or like maybe, you can't compare it in one sense, Canal and Claiborne, but if there was some, maybe Canal and City Park Avenue or something, they blocked off the 2 main roads in the town. And in the middle, they put up this big, stage for Prabhupada. And right down the middle of the street, all the people congregate. They just come in. And everything, they have lights. They've made it into like a big open theater. And Prabhupada's there on the stage. And so every night he speaks. And the whole city comes in, and the mayor's declared, holiday. So, there's places closed down, there's no federal buildings, and everybody's coming to hear Prabhupada speak. And this goes on at least a week, if not 2, with the devotees before he starts sending them different places and stays with just a few people. And in the meantime, devotees from Calcutta on January the 18th or before then, they arrive at the Kumbh Mela, where Prabhupada months before has paid so many rupees, like 8,000 or more rupees, for 100 by 100 space almost at the main gate where you enter, close to a thousands of year old Beta Hanuman temple. Hanuman lying down, and sometimes when the river gets high, is merged in the Ganga. At this time of year, the river is low, and it's sandy beach, and that's where the whole Kumbh Mela is set up, where you have, I'm sure I read, you'd have to check it, 100 square miles of tent city holding 50 million people. And this year's Kumbh Mela, this is 1970, this year's Kumbh Mela may have been over 200 million people. And it's amazing how they manage it, especially nowadays where you have the threat of terrorism. It's amazing how it's managed. So they, Prabhupada has been given this space, and the devotees have put up this like 60 by 90 foot pandal, 20 feet high, circus looking, with like 5 or 6 different colors of vertical stripes going all the way up and down. And then 3 other tents, one for the men, one for the women, and one for Prabhupada to stay in. And then a makeshift shed for cooking. And then the whole thing's fenced off by sheet metal. And it's open to what is called the Prayag, I think it's called Prayag Road or something like that, where it's like the main road that goes down with just the whole tent city on each side. And they make roads in between. It becomes a huge city. I mean, right now in the world, there's no city of even 50 million people. And all this is like a temporary city of tents. So, when the devotees came from Calcutta, they have a few Indian devotees. They started making some Indian devotees with them. So they get things. Before Shama Sundar gets there, this is all set up. From after the Calcutta devotees get there, the Delhi devotees have come, some devotees from Surat. Shama Sundar and some others that went back to Bombay to take care of certain things. Prabhupada wants to rent this really nice space. There's a little bit of a struggle because on the floor below him is the Pakistani ambassador to India. And you know the strife that goes on between India and Pakistan. So the last thing he wants to hear is Hare Krishna devotees above him. You know? So there's some negotiations going on. And there's also some other very important things going on. Oh, they're trying to do this first big Pandal program in Bombay that has become a famous history of this time. So that has to all be arranged. And so then gradually, Shama Sundar gets there. And Prabhupada is going to reorganize the whole Indian program as well as take them to Kumbh Mela. And that's where I left off reading. So an interesting book. I would suggest everybody, get that,
You have it, Drew?
We have right next to the first one is volume 2.
How much is it?
It's $30. Oh, I just broke the glasses. These cheap glasses. Well, look at it. Just thought it was going to stick back together, but it didn't. Can't play with them too much,
I read it.
You read the whole book?
Oh, yeah.
You finished it already?
Well, I don't know why I got it, but I had read it, and then I forgot I'd read it. I read 1, and then I read 2. And then he was at the Sadhu Sangha selling.
Well, he wasn't selling 3. That hadn't come out, right? Yeah, he was selling 2. I guess I've had 2 for 2 months at least. I've given a couple away. And I started reading it maybe 3 weeks ago. And it was nectar that I got stopped, I set the book down and been just so busy and able to pick it up. And when I had a chance to pick it up, it was in the office and I was at home. And then I suddenly noticed it wasn't in the office anymore. I actually picked it up one day and I gave it to, I think, Gokula.
I started reading it, Because I bought another one from him, got him to sign it and everything.
Wow.
I started reading it that night, and I said, oh gosh, I read this one. And so then I gave it to him.
You may have gotten one in the mail, or if you prepaid, you sent them out in the mail.
Yeah, I think I bought it.
An extra mill if he got his, because he was complaining that he hadn't gotten his yet.
But I can't remember if it was in that book or in Guru Das's, but can you imagine, here you are, you're young, in your early 20s, you're in a foreign country, you and your wife, and all of a sudden Prabhupada says, get off here and do something. when he told Guru Das and Yamuna to get off the train, they're traveling with Prabhupada on the train, he said, get off here and do
What
something.
about Malati and her 2-year-old daughter arriving in India without her husband?
Right.
He had to stay back to do some things first.
Yeah.
And then he arrives. And at the Kumbh Mela, it's 68 degrees in the daytime, but it drops into the 30s at night. And all you have is a tent. And they give you a wool blanket to sleep on, you know. And Shamsundra, when he arrives, the first thing that happens is his daughter runs up to him. So Malati and the daughter is already there at the Kumbh Mela in the tent, you know, having to, you know, for lack of words, survive the night, you know. And our Mongol Arti fills up because nobody else is open at 4 o'clock in the morning. So when, you know, but our Pacharis had to get up and do it. And they had to start cooking. Not only had to cook for the 45 devotees there, that's how many devotees in India at that time. Every one of them comes to 45. It's actually January 1971 at this time. So there's 45 devotees in India total. So not only did he have to cook for the 45 devotees, but Prabhupada wants everybody to be able to eat who comes and takes darshan. So that's about 700 a day is what it said in the book. So there's one cook, and you're cooking with wood, and everybody's cooking with wood. So you have this hazy smoke that also goes up into the air in this tent city of 50 million people. So, you know, a lot of austerity with it. That's what Shamsundra was making a point. That if you ever had to surrender, he said that's where the test of surrender really came to him, because no longer could you relate to anything. Everything was just so different. I mean, at least in Bombay there were motor cars. When you got there were no motor cars. You had to come in on one of those tangos or horse-driven carriage. Now it may be different now. Now they're blocking off, they have police security like 100 miles before people even get to the Kumbh Mela, because they're trying to stop any threat of terrorism. And you have every branch in the military there, as well as police departments from 20 states, just to deal with any threat of terrorism, as well as all the other things, including petty theft. The theft isn't that bad, but there's one village where the whole village goes, and it's very hard to catch them, because as soon as they're able to get something, they send somebody back to the village, and there's no more evidence. So then, the government's aware of that, so they keep an eye on them, but the whole village goes to the Kumbh Mela, but not for the purpose of pilgrimage, for the purpose of thievery. So, the government has a lot to look over. And it's been going on since the nectar dropped on Earth, way back at the churning of the milk ocean. It's amazing, Even in 1895, Mark Twain was there.
Wow.
And he wrote a nice paragraph about it. He had he had a lot of hilarious insights into politics and religion and things like that. But he wrote a nice paragraph on the Kumbh Mela. He was So you were saying you couldn't remember which book Guru Das was
Yeah, I remember the story though, that,
of Kumbh Mela or
well, what Prabhupada just told him.
oh, get off the train.
Get off, get
Yeah, Shama Sundar doesn't go into detail
Yeah.
about him getting off the train. Just says that Guru Das and
Yeah, I believe Guru does that. Prabhupada
Get off
said,
the
told
train.
him, get off here and do something.
And actually, what Shama Sundar does talk about is that he was glad it wasn't him, because Delhi was sort of described as being a little bit dumpy compared to Bombay. You know, Bombay is like the financial center, as well as the entire Bollywood movie industry. In the course of meeting people, he mentions the most famous actress in India at that time, and her husband, meeting Prabhupada at one afternoon darshan.
What is it, Hema Malini?
Maybe at that time, yes, 1970. And he said, immediately Prabhupada noticed them. They were like such as far as like bodily beauty. Are you here? It didn't rain last night, so I suspect it's all right. Okay. Let me go. I'm in the middle of something. You can take your time because getting closer to 10 to some, we have more time to dry out the dew and stuff. Okay. So, what was I saying? Oh, about that actress.
Yeah.
So actually, their bodily beauty and features were just so nice. They were really blessed, That Prabhupada took note of them. And Shama Sundar says how much he took note of them. And he speaks a little bit about that particular meeting with these people. Later, I guess they went on to help our movement a lot. Oh, what Shama Sundar says is the next day. Prabhupada tells them about our life membership program. And the next day, him and Tamal were at their house in the morning to make them life members.